Quite some time passed since the incident with Opson. I always felt grateful that he wasn't in the situation I was in now. I was in an enclosure, and I realized what the humans really were. They weren't my family. They were evil. They were the enemies. But they could no longer hurt Opson. They'd started doing those testings on me. However, I let the anger and the vengeful sensations I felt fuel me through the pain. When I was large enough, they put me in this large enclosure, and as I got bigger, it started to feel smaller. There was so much to see. I just knew it, because I could smell it in the air. I didn't even understand what I was totally, because everything else that I heard making noises and calls didn't sound like me. Maybe there was one other large creature that sounded somewhat like me, but nothing ever was really the same. Opson was the only one that I could have ever talked to, and he was gone, so I had to learn to get used to life on my own. I made a friend. The big metal object that used to peer itself inside of my enclosure became a personified version of my alter ego. I had to talk to someone or something. I was no longer in the lab. That was also many moons ago. It was so tiring having those stupid humans coming to check up on me. I could see them through that thin film barrier. They were always staring at me like I was some specimen. I guess I was. I guess that's all we ever were to those stupid things. I felt the hatred pouring from out of my eyes every time I looked at these things, and I vowed to myself that I would get out someday. The long metal crane peers inside my enclosure. Hey, what's going on, Soren?
How are you doing today, mistress?
Not so good. Have you noticed that this area is getting smaller? And it's getting hotter? I don't know what it is.
I've not noticed, as I'm merely metal and lack the nerve endings to process such sensations.
I give him a bitter look. You never tell me of the outside world.
Sure I do, mistress.
Nothing new.
Because there is nothing new to report. Other creatures with whom you share the lab space are locked in enclosures much like yours.
When I get out, I will. No, I'm going to get my revenge on those humans for what they did to my brother.
How so, my dear?
Don't patronize me.
Those humans are more resourceful than you give them credit for.
Are they?
Indeed. Massive creatures such as yourself. They're able day in and out to keep you contained and controlled.
Why?
I don't know, mistress. My knowledge only stretches as far as yours does. After all, I am a figment of your own imagination.
You're not a very good one.
I guess you're the only judge of that, and you are your toughest critic.
Don't start.
I'm merely stating that by insulting me, you are indirectly insulting yourself, as I am an extension of you.
I chomp on his metal neck as hard as I can. He retreats into the sky and over the walls of my enclosure.
By the way, you might have a visitor today.
What makes you say that?
Notice how the humans are busybodied today and seem very anxious. One of their superiors is coming, and the only one they behave that way with is him.
I have the overwhelming sensation to scream. Yes, him, the dark-scaled one. For some reason, when he looks at me, I know he's the one in charge. He is rarely seen, which is odd, being the leader of the humans, but I know he's behind everything that's happening. Not very long after, he arrives with the red fuzzy one. I hate them. I retreat into the thicker part of the canopy, trying to stay out of sight, melding my scale to match my environment. I try to make out what they're saying. I haven't really learned human language, but I've picked up on little things, their body language, their expression, and little tones in their little voices, to help me realize what exactly they may be saying or feeling at that moment. I hate the way they look at me, because it's the same way they looked at my brother Opson. I watch as they study me intently, completely oblivious that they are too being studied. I feel it becoming unbearably hot. The humans are gone. I hear a voice calling to me.
Indy.
Yes. Wait a minute. This voice, I can understand it clearly. And it can understand me, I'm guessing. Who are you? I ask.
It's very hot in there, isn't it?
Yes? Why do you sound so close? Do you have an enclosure right next to mine?
Now I do, I'm guessing.
I walk over to the wall, a very thick one from whence the sound is being emitted. Who are you? I've never heard of you before, and how is it that you can understand me?
The world outside is so full with miracles and wonders. This is only one of them.
Where did you come from? I ask him. He doesn't answer right away. So what, you're not going to answer me?
Do you plan on staying here for the rest of your life? Your life is wasting away. You say you want to see this wonderful outside world, and yet you are here, wasting away, doing nothing with your life.
There's little that I can do, I say with a snippy tone in reply to him. Who does this person think he is anyway? What do you look like? And how is it that you can understand me? Why are you not answering my questions?
I'm a lot like you than you think.
Really? Then how is it that you're outside? Because I know you're not in an enclosure.
You don't know anything. You've never been out here. There's a whole world here for you to explore, full of desire. But you're still here. You're still a prisoner. You're still captured mentally by these things that cause you so much pain, Indy.
How do you know my name?
I know a lot about you. Well, whenever you want to escape from this, you let me know.
I fall back asleep, or I wake up and fall back asleep. I'm not really even sure. But that whole interaction made me feel like that had been a dream. But when I wake up, I can smell that familiar smell again. I perk my neck up. My eyes are wide open. Hello? I call out.
I'm here.
You're still here? I ask in disbelief. It feels so good to speak to someone else other than Soren. And then it hits me. What if I'm crazy? What if I'm thinking about all of this and this is just in my mind?
You're not going crazy, by the way. I know it's hard to believe that since you can't see me, but I really am here.
How could he read my mind? I'm convinced. Ha, nice try. I am crazy because you wouldn't know what was in my mind.
Indy,
he says. I perk my ears next to the wall to listen. There's a rustling nearby. I look back, and a small animal flies up to the heavens. I turn back my attention to him. What do I call you?
You can call me whatever you like. I don't really have a name in the traditional sense.
Okay, fine. How do I get out? I do want to get out. I remember what you said, and I want to get out.
Good, that's the first step. You have to want to get out more than anything, and you have to make up your mind that that's what you're going to do.
I scoff. Is he for real? It almost seems as though he's insulting or mocking me. I don't know who this creature is, but he's big enough to not have gone unnoticed by the humans. Alright, what's the joke here? Did they send you to mess with me?
Of course not. Why would I waste my time doing such a thing?
Why would you waste your time sitting by my enclosure while you can go and talk to so many other different creatures? I'm unable to get out of here. Can't you see that? The walls are too high.
You know what the greatest feat is?
What's that? I say, asking, not really expecting a true answer. Besides, everything he's saying seems to be spoken in riddles.
The greatest feat is overcoming an enemy smarter than yourself. And that's why they always say you should become your enemy. When you're hunting prey, you should become your prey. But when you're avoiding a predator, you have to also think like the predator. You have to be better than the predator. And you have to allow your mind to lead your body. Because before ideas are manifested, they are simply thoughts, intangible objects that become the catalyst for what we see in our everyday existence.
I look at the wall, half expecting to see him peer his face through it, whatever that may look like. And I just imagine him looking like me because he speaks like me. But the things he speaks of just seem like they don't make any sense. You're saying, I say with an audacious attitude, that if I simply wish myself out of my enclosure, then I'll get out?
Wishing is not enough, Indy, and I think you understand that. But you're not serious.
Of course I'm serious. If you only knew what I've been through, you wouldn't say things like that. I stand up to my full height, and I ram my head into the wall. You better get out of here, because I will get out, and if you're on the other side of this stupid wall when I do get out, you're gonna also feel my wrath.
Be careful where you direct your anger.
Well, what, you want to challenge me?
Of course not. I wouldn't dream of challenging you, Indy. But when you're ready, I know you'll make a way. Determination is what you need.
Gee, why didn't I think of that before? I say, feeling a bit insulted.
I have to go. Before I do, I want to thank you. I do have the respect I deserve. I'm merely returning the favor.
What are you talking about, you weirdo? I turned my back to the wall, my tail switching this way and that. Okay, now I actually want him to leave. But he says one last thing to me.
Just remember what I said. Oh, and thank you for saving me, Indy.
The fire road is everything we said it would be. I turn my head so fast my entire body almost collapses beneath me, and I end up banging my face into the wall. That voice. It's my brother. It's Opsin. I stand up and I peer. I try to see over the wall. Opsin. That voice haunted me for so long. Because the last thing he said was my name as I was choking the life out of him. And all I wanted to do was see my brother. The creature on the other end of the wall. He's my brother. I start scratching away at the wall furiously, in desperation and in anger and helplessness. Because no matter how much I scratch and try to jump over, I can't. I try digging, I roar, I call out to Opsin, but there's nothing in reply. How could I have been so stupid? How could I have not realized it was my brother? Now, more than anything, I want to get out. I need to get out. I go to the center of my canopy nest and lie there for the night. Okay, Opsin, you're right. I won't let this visit be in vain. A part of me thinks that I am going crazy. I mean, I'm talking to a metal thing that the humans made to feed me because they're too scared to come into it themselves. So it is possible that I concocted this image of Opsin also in my brain, but something tells me that it's not. Or is it? Does it even really matter? There's a part of him that's still alive within me and is trying to save me. And I realize that me, him, whatever it is right. To get my vengeance on the humans and to escape, I cannot sit here feeling sorry for myself. So I start to think the way Opsin instructed me to. I start to keep my eyes on my goal, what I want. I close my eyes. I sigh deeply and think of ways to escape, because there must be one, and all I have to do is be smarter than my captors. The next day is very eventful, because as I wake up, I can hear something in my enclosure. Something I've heard before, but not this close in a very long time. What in the hell? I say as I get up slowly. I hear them louder. It's humans, but they're very, very close. I try not to move so much so that I make a noise, because brushing up against these leaves do make quite a bit of noise. I train my eyes in the direction of the sound, and to my horror and wonder, I see 3 humans standing there at the wall where I stood yesterday, talking to what I thought was my brother. Am I dreaming still? I look carefully, and I'm not really sure what it is I'm seeing. I mean, I have hallucinated things before, but this is just odd, because there's no way in hell that humans would be standing in my enclosure with me in here. That just doesn't make any sense. What are they staring at? And I realize they're staring at the wall. Can they also hear Opsin? I'm not really sure, but I realize that this is my moment. The humans got in here somehow, so there must be a way out. And I realize that if I charge them, they'll lead me to the way out. I know that if I cut them off here, the only place that they have left to go is the big opening, the only one that I can fit through. So quickly and slyly, I sneak up behind them and I make my presence known. You should see the look on their faces. I roar viciously and full speed charge straight ahead towards them. One of the humans fall back and I grab him up, chopping him into pieces with all the anger and rage I felt over the years. I feel alive, I feel vigor, I feel anger, I feel hope. I can feel their fear and their panic. I lean down my head and pump my legs as fast as I can, trying to catch up to the other humans. I see the exit opening, and I see them trying to squeeze through it. Oh no, they're gonna make it close! They're gonna lock me in here again! And I realize that this is the last chance, probably the only chance I'm ever gonna have to break free. So right before the last human makes it through, I stick my head through long enough to pry open that entrance gate, and I squeeze the rest of my body through, and I'm free. Where are the humans? I cautiously look around, taking in the sights. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm outside. But the first order of business is to kill these two humans, because if I don't and they get away, they're gonna alert the others and I'm free. They probably already know, but I can't take that chance. I can hear one of them breathing hard behind this big white thing. I'm quiet, not wanting to spook him. And suddenly I lash out, and I use my claws and hit the big white thing out of the way to reveal the human stupidly sitting there. I chomp into his body. It's very soft and juicy, and blood squirts into my mouth, wetting the insides of my throat. His warmth feels good, but I don't want to eat right now. I have to find the other one. If one was behind the big white thing, one must be under this one as well. I peer my head slowly underneath. And as I peer slowly underneath, I could have sworn I could hear breathing, but I smell some noxious thing that makes me sick. If it's making me sick, there's no way the human can be under there. To be honest, he probably is, but I don't care. I think that I've made my message clear, and if I run fast enough, I'm ahead of them anyway. I can't waste any more time looking for him. So I run off ahead, enjoying my newfound freedom. Or at least I think I do. I don't even know how to feel right now. Opson, I'm free! Soren, I'm free! But no one answers back. I have expected Opson to be out here with me, but he's not. But that's alright. I suddenly have a flashback to my younger days, when I tried escaping before, when the humans used to do whatever they were doing around my enclosure, and I would try my best, time and time again. I attacked some of them. I even almost escaped once, but every time I was met with the same pain I can imagine my brother felt when he was younger. I kept telling myself that the pain was worth it, because if one of us had to survive and make it out of here, it had to be me. I didn't want to waste my life away, knowing that I used it to end my brother's life, and I know why I did it, but it didn't make me feel any less worse. Now, I'm finally here, because my brother saved me, or because I saved myself, using my brother as some kind of manifestation or some deity. But regardless, his life, his entity, the piece of him that was still inside of me, I used that to set me free. I look around and all I can see is grass. I look down at my feet and I squish the ground beneath me. I've never felt fresh grass like this. I mean, there are areas of grass around my enclosure, but not like this. I stoop down onto all fours and I lick the ground. All the tastes that inundate my palates are just so scintillating. I sniff the air, and I can tell that there is more to this madness. I can go free, but I did make a promise to myself, didn't I not? I had to make these humans pay for what they did to Opson. I had to make them pay for what they put us through, for taking away my brother. No way. Opson, I say out loud to nothing in particular. I made a promise. I know that you saved me. I don't know in what facet you did. Maybe it was part of my imagination, but it was still you. And I made a promise that I would avenge you, that I wouldn't let these humans keep doing what they're doing. I wouldn't let them go free without justice being served. And now that you've given my freedom, I will avenge you before I find my own. I promise. I'm going to shut this place down so they can never do this to anyone else again. Just then, I can hear Soren's voice on my right side. That's weird, because his metal thing is nowhere around me. But his personality is still a part of me, and I have to keep that in my mind. What do you want, Soren? May I suggest that you should make a beeline for escaping off the island? Quick away. And why should I do that? You just heard my declaration. Is this what your brother would want? For you to waste your life on the humans any second longer? Listen to me, you stupid chunk of metal, I say, whirling around, half expecting to see him there. When I don't, I look up into the sky, addressing nothing in particular. You don't know what I went through with my brother. You think you know, but you don't know. And these humans, they do it to other creatures too. I'm not the only one, and though those creatures are lesser beings than me, I don't think anything should give those humans that power. And as long as these humans are still in operation, they will continue doing it. And by the way, if there's ever a way to justify me doing it, I will never truly be free. Unless I get rid of them. I have to stop them, Soren. Surely you understand. So don't try to stop me. Don't insult me like that, knowing the pain I've been through, knowing what I had to do to save my brother from it. I start walking in a general direction of where there's the most foliage. One thing I have to tell you. There's nowhere you can go where they won't find you. Every creature has a tracking device within their person. I stop and turn around slowly. I have to keep remembering that I can't actually see Soren. What do you mean? I ask. You know very well what happened. That one time when you were younger and you escaped after they put that thing in you, and no matter how much you tried to hide or camouflage, they always knew where you were. Then I close my eyes, and I tune into the sounds of my own body, my internal mechanisms. I can hear my own heart beating. But there's something else beating alongside it. Somewhere near my back. Oh my gosh. That's right. They put something else in me so they could know where I was. Just remembering that sends shivers down my spine. I look towards me where there's deep foliage. I have an idea, Soren. Don't worry. Soren goes quiet, and I start running full speed ahead. My best plan right now is to use the humans' own devices and inventions against them. If I'm going to take down the humans, you betcha I'm going to do it with style. Well, that's it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed that interesting theory point of view from Indy the Indominus Rex's point of view in the Jurassic World movie. This was only from the time of when we first see her in her enclosure up until the point where she escapes before the rest of the movie. So there are different segments to this. Instead of doing a whole long one, I decided to break them up into the different events of the movie or different scenes with the Indominus Rex. What is your favorite scene with the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World? By the way, here's a song that I wrote just to dedicate it to Indy herself as a character. The track is by YouTube Audio Library, and the information for that is in the description. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Alteori. You ask, we answer. Not wanting to waste the sacrifice. One day I'm gonna run free. I'm gonna run free. One sweet day my life will feel real. My life will feel real. Every hour I think about success. I'll devour the ones who cause my stress.